Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you're all here. And as you could see from the thumbnail, in today's video I am going to be answering your questions. A few months ago, I think I put it out in a couple different videos, I asked you for any questions that you had for me, and I have my list compiled, so I thought I would go ahead today and sit down and answer your questions and just chat. So go ahead and pour yourself a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and just relax and let me go ahead and answer all of your questions. Okay, and actually I am just looking at my list and I'm realizing I should have put your usernames on who asked the question, and I did not do that, so I apologize. If I ever do another one of these videos again in the future, I will go ahead and I will write down who asked the question. So unfortunately, I looked here and I only have just the question. So sorry I did that, but we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So the first question I have is my favorite store to shop at. And I was thinking about this, and I guess it kind of depends on, you know, what you're shopping for, obviously. But if I had to pick like one store that I could shop for, probably like everything, it would be Target. I just love Target. Obviously, I could shop for clothes there, I could get makeup and skincare there, I could get pretty home decor there, so I just love Target. So I guess my favorite store to shop at would probably be Target. The next question is my favorite online store to shop at. And I guess if we go along those same lines of like a place where you could get just about anything, obviously it would have to be Amazon. You can't beat the fact that you could find anything you need there and you get it in a day or two, and you know, so I would probably have to say my favorite online store would be Amazon. The next question is, what is my idea of a perfect day? And I was thinking about this, and if I could do a perfect day, it would be a day that I could spend with everyone that I love, because I live very far away from most people that I really love. And if I could have a day with my you know, obviously my immediate family, my husband and my sons, but then also my sisters and my brother and all my nieces and nephews and my mother-in-law, if I could just have all of them to spend a day with, that would just be the ultimate. And it really wouldn't even matter what we were doing. I mean, I think just, you know, being able to hang out, share a meal, laugh with all of them and spend time with them, that would be an ideal day for me. So if I could pick anything, it would be to spend a day with all of those people in one day. The next question is, what dish or recipe do I get asked to make the most often? As it ends up being that the recipe that my boys and my husband, they love and request, it's a recipe that was actually my mom's, and it is a recipe for German potato salad. And this is a hot salad that is absolutely delicious, but it is just absolutely horrible for you too. It has, you know, bacon and bacon grease in the dressing, which is why it's so delicious. So I do end up only making this a couple of times a year for them, but I think it's so sweet that they love the recipe that was actually my mom's, that I grew up loving so much. So I think that's kind of neat. So it would probably be my mother's German potato salad recipe that I get requested to make the most, but I refuse to make it too often just because it really isn't that good for you. Okay, the next question is, what is my favorite movie or book? And I was trying to think about books, and I don't know if I have just a favorite book. I really love like thrillers, and I love romantic novels, but I really was pressed to think of an absolute favorite book. Now, as far as a movie, I do have a favorite movie, and it is The Notebook. If I happen to be switching around channels and I see that on, I am sucked in every time and will continue to watch it through to the end. I just adore that movie. It's one that even though, you know, it can be kind of sad towards the end, I just love the story. I don't even know how many times I have seen it, but it's been a lot, and I'm sure I'll be watching it a lot more in the future too, because I always enjoy that movie. Next question is, do you have a nickname? And I do have a couple of nicknames. I think for family members, a lot of the, like, I think my sisters still call me Teen. And I think even my best friend from high school, I think she still calls me Teen sometimes too. And so probably family members, it would be Teen. And then other friends that I have just call me T. So those would be my two nicknames, Teen and T. The next question is, do you work outside the home? And my answer to that is kind of, and I will explain. Right now am currently, I call it like my little job. I work for Shipt, and if you haven't heard of Shipt before, it's kind of similar to Instacart, if you know what that is. But mainly I am shopping at Target. So what I do is I shop for people, and then I deliver their things to them at their house, leave them on their front porch. And I've been doing it a couple years now, and it's just kind of a fun thing that I do, you know, when I want to. Probably not a shocker to you, but I am a shopper, and I like to shop, and I like to shop for myself. And apparently I like to shop for other people too. So I just find it fun. And then also during the pandemic, when there was a lot of older people that didn't feel comfortable going out to the store, it made me feel good to be able to help them out. So, and I do have a lot of older people that I shop for that, you know, regularly I've gotten to know them. So that's been an added benefit of this job. But it really is just a fun little side thing that I do. So it's not, that's why I don't know if I consider it like a real job, quote unquote, but that is what I am doing, getting paid, let's say that. I also volunteer, and I volunteer at a local resale shop. It is run from a church. It's part of a church charity, and all the proceeds that they make from this resale store go to help families in need, and I love doing that. So I also volunteer. But then prior to that, yes, I have had like real jobs. In my 20s, I was a flight attendant for 6.5 years, and then I went back to school and I became a paralegal. And then I worked at a law firm for 3 years, and I did that right up until I had my oldest child. And then I stopped, and I was able to be a stay-at-home mom when my kids were little. And when my youngest started first grade and was in school all day, I started working as a substitute teacher's assistant in our school district. And I did that for 11 years. And that was a lot of fun. It was great because it still allowed me such flexibility where I could still be room mom for my kids' classes and go on all the field trips and do all the volunteer things. So it was really a perfect fit at that time in my life. And then also, of course, right now I have YouTube that I like to do. So that is what I'm involved in as far as my, you know, jobs go. The next question is, what is the scariest thing I have ever done? And I had to think about this for a little bit and then realize that there is something that was really scary that happened to me probably, I think it was 11 or 12 years ago. Before we had our dog Louie, we had a dog named Jake. I was taking him for a walk, and it was really early because I had to work that day, so I was getting his walk in before I had to leave for work. If you're a dog owner, you know that in your neighborhood, you know all the other dogs, you know all the other dog owners. It's just something that you get familiar with everyone walking every day. And as I was walking Jake that morning, there was a woman who I'd never seen before with a very large dog on the other side of the street, on the other sidewalk. And I didn't think too much of it until that dog lunged and she fell down and let go of the leash, and that dog ran across the street and proceeded to start attacking my dog Jake. And it was quite apparent that he was trying to kill my dog. And the dog that was attacking my dog Jake, he was really large. He was over 125 pounds, a really big dog. And he had my dog Jake down and he was going for his neck, and it was horrible. And you know, I didn't think, I just reacted, and I jumped onto the back of that dog, and I, you know, rolled him off of my dog, and then that dog was on top of me, and I was holding, you know, him back from getting me. And the woman finally got over to us, and she grabbed his collar and she was screaming, "Run, run," which was really disconcerting after everything we had just been through. And you know, I stood up, and it was so odd to me. I still don't know how this happened, that somehow wrestling that dog off of Jake, I lost both of my sneakers, and I looked down and I had just socks on, and you know, I grabbed my dog's leash and we just ran home. And it was truly frightening, and we ended up having to call the police, and you know, my dog had extensive vet, you know, procedures done, and it was really, really frightening. And even though I am a dog person, I'm an animal person just in general. I love animals. I will say that since that happened, if I am walking Louie in a neighborhood that we don't normally walk in, and a dog comes charging out, like they might have like an electric fence, you know, I don't know that though, I still get, you know, my heart just starts to race, and I get very scared. Like, I don't know if that feeling will ever go away when a dog that I don't know just comes like running towards me. So that, I think, is probably the scariest thing that I've ever done, was wrestle a dog off of my dog. All right, so the next question is, what other YouTubers do I enjoy watching? And I will say that since starting my own channel, I really like to take the time that I have to watch videos and support growing YouTube channels, you know, smaller YouTubers. So these are some of the ones in no particular order that I am really enjoying. And the first one is Show Me Sherry. And Sherry's channel is relatively new, I don't know, maybe a month or two, but she is awesome. She does all kinds of unboxings and boxes you have never even heard of. And she is so fun, and she is so sweet and genuine. You will love her channel, so definitely check hers out. Another one that's new to me is Beauty by Dez. And Dez, I believe, lives in London, and she does a lot of beauty, skincare, fashion content, and she is so pretty, and she's so elegant, and she's just everything that I'm not, basically. And I've really been enjoying her content. And then other like ones that do unboxings and also like try-ons and hauls, I love Jennie Modesto, I love Danene's fashions, I love Shannon's style, I love Carolyn and her clothes, I love BlingGirl. I'm trying to think of some other ones here. Nancy Ann's unboxings, did I say her? I like her videos. Oh, Linda, Mature Sass, she is phenomenal. So those are the ones I'm really enjoying. Okay, the next question is, what state do I live in? And I live in Illinois. The next question is, how long have I been married? And my husband and I just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary back in May. So that was a big milestone for us. And okay, our next one is if I have any kids and what their ages are. Yes, I have 2 boys, and my oldest is 23 and my youngest is 21. And I know I'm completely biased, but they are just the best young men you will meet, and I am so blessed to be their mom. All right, and to finish it up, the last question is, what is my biggest pet peeve? And I was trying to think about this, and you know, I don't know if it's my biggest one, but it came to mind for sure. Is I was at Kohl's recently, and of course trying on some clothes, and as I was going into the dressing room, I am always amazed at how many people do not take their clothes out of the dressing room when they're done. And not only do they just leave them in there hanging, but they leave them bunched up on the floor in piles, and I just can't understand that. I maybe go the opposite route of a lot of people, and I like to put it back on the hanger with the, you know, buttoned up and looking all nice. I really like to try to help out the workers, and I'm just shocked though that people will just leave a pile of clothes in a dressing room. So that, I guess, is a pet peeve of mine, is that bring your clothes back to, at least bring them back to the rack out in the, you know, in front of the dressing room. Just at least do that. So friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. I had a lot of fun, and if you've got any more questions for me, go ahead and list them in the comments, and maybe I'll do another one of these videos in the future again. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me, and I will see you next time. Bye.